be the voice for the voiceless being.
In the Muslim faith, we have this really beautiful saying from the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in which he says that none of you truly have attained to faith until you love for one another what you love for your own self. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he said that on the day of resurrection, when people will have to answer for their deeds before God, one will even have to answer for the innocent sparrow that they killed.
In the beginning, I worked actually as an EMT. You walk into these people's homes and you see like they're having this asthma attack or this sickle cell crisis or whatever other disease, and here, you know, right next to the bed, they've just got through eating cookies with a big glass of cow's milk. And, you know, you're asking yourself the question, you know, do you think that, you know, any of what you just ate has anything to do with how you're feeling right now? You know, we don't really get to ask that question. After I went vegan, I was probably the strongest I've ever been in my life. And, you know, I maintain that on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, anyway, I'm 95 years old, and
one of the first patients I remember came to me because he had the complications of diabetes. He was losing his eyesight. And when I suggested to him to stop all the dairy, within 2 weeks, his blood sugar came down and his eyesight came back. It was just so amazing. And then over a period of time, he went on a whole plant-based diet and improved even further. So this was one of my early cases which brought to my mind how much changing our diet really helps, because our body always works to heal.
God designed us, and he gave us an owner's manual, and it's called the Bible. And in the Bible, he tells us what we should be eating. He tells us what he designed us to eat. And if we care about ourselves, and if we care about what God wants, then we will follow his instructions for a healthy life. I have to ask, do you love the pleasure of eating this unhealthy food more than you love God? Because if you really love God, then you would do what he asks us to do, and that is eat a plant-based diet.
A prayer for compassion also explores how the state of our planet is intrinsically linked with humankind's spirituality, which in turn is affected by our daily decisions.
The environmental crisis is not a crisis of the bees and the birds or the trees and the toads. It's a crisis of how we live as spiritual beings in a physical reality. Therefore, in order to address this crisis, we're going to need to address the spiritual roots. Everything that we consume, we need to think, am I elevating this object in the highest way? Am I using it in holiness? Am I reusing it? Do I actually need this? If we do that, then we're living at a higher vibrational frequency. We're living in resonance with the divine. We're living in resonance with the planet that God has given us.